Hello everyone. Go back. Ready? So I can start?
Yeah. I said a minute, but let's see.
Okay.
You start talking, then I start coming in. Let's start.
Okay.
Let's go.
So good morning everyone. My name is Alex. I'm from TMU. So welcome everybody in TMU this time. And I think it's for long time. I see you a long time ago, and today I see you again. Okay. And this section I try to introduce about the ETL. So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. So thanks for morning about the introduction of vocabulary. So this is very important. But you also need the ETL because all of the technical people, you need this document to transform the data from your data soft database to the CDM model. So basically, this section will have two parts. The first part I will quickly introduce about what is ETL, what is the tool inside, and the second part I will do hands-on. I just show some quick demos. That's what we are doing in TMU before. And because we are already joined OHDSI and we have some study with OHDSI as well. So how could we do that? So I will try to show you guys the way we are doing. Okay. 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 So this is me and Nguyen. Okay. So any question you can ask me on Nguyen. Okay.
Always Nguyen.
Everything is Nguyen. Okay. But anyway, I should say thanks to my class because it teaches me a lot of things about ETL before. He's the one teaching me, guide me how to do that in 2015. Okay, so he's the one to guide me in the beginning. Yeah, so I learned from that. Thank you. Okay, so our topic today I will share a little bit about the best practice ETL process, ETL tool as well. So inside we have White Rabbit tool, Rabbit in a hat, and Usagi. Okay. So So ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. So why we need ETL? So basically, when we do the study in different data sources, for example, in Taiwan, we basically have the collaboration between two hospitals, from TMU or from NTU hospital. So how could we do? If we have two different data sources, so basically, the people we sit together, they define variables, and the group in TMU, we will try to get the data by following some variable. Okay, and the group in NTU, they're also doing the same thing. And then we pull out data together to analysis, or we do the analysis by separately hospital, and then we combine the result together. Okay, so the way of the patient data level to the result, basically people are doing like that. But OHDSI gives us the tool, gives us the good way to combine data easily and faster. So in between we will make the ETL to make the processing faster. To make the people don't need to sit together very long time and short time to have a meeting, discuss about what is exactly what we need. So in the beginning we just sitting and then we require that. And then basically when we have the same data structure, the same vocabulary, we just run the script. It's very easy and quick. So, okay, so the goals of ETL include standardize the format and terminology in between both, different organizations, different data sources. Okay, so for the ETL processing, you guys can look to the book. It's an open book from OHDSI, and you can see the chapter 6. They will explain in detail about what is ETL, example ETL, and the way how to build ETL. Okay, so the ETL processing including several steps. The first step we need is the data expert and the CDM expert sitting together to define what is the term in the data source, in the source data, and also the CDM data source. So we have two people have to sitting together to define the variable in our own data source, and another CDM people will say that okay, this variable will match to this kind of variable inside CDM model. So the second step is we need the people with the mathematical knowledge to create a mapping code. For example, you need mapping from IC9 CDM to Snowman. You need mapping from Blackboard. We have basically CDM model we use IC9 code. So in Taiwan, basically we are using national Taiwan code. So we need an expert to sitting and mapping, doing the mapping here. Okay. And after that, we can generate the ETL document. And from the ETL document, the technical people, the person can see the ETL document, and then they write down the code to convert, to pull out all of the data from the software app to the CDM model. And of course, from all of the processing, we have the way to do the quality control of the data as well. Okay? So below here, this is some tool we will introduce to you guys for step by step. Okay, so for first step, we will see to do about the data expert and CDM expert together to make the ETL. So the first tool is about the YRabbit. The YRabbit is a source code, the open source code to scan all of the source data and create the CSV report or Excel report to you guys about the your data frequency, your data variable, and also some error, also chunks data inside the database. And also the YRabbit, you can easily to learn about your own data source if you're not familiar with it. Because a lot of people in the beginning, when you take out your data, you may do not understand all of your data in your head. You just know some table. Because the other table you will not touch it. But for the YRabbit, when you scan all of the database, you can easily to understand each table inside the data source. Okay. And also, of course, they're having us to design ETL. And basically, the result of the YRabbit will be used in the rabbit in the head. Okay, so this is example when you scan out your data source, and there will be the reports in CSV or in Excel file for you guys to see each table and the value inside of the table, and also what is the frequency of that each variable inside. The second tool we will talk about the rabbit in the hash. So rabbit in the hash is read the display. I mean, they will read the result of the YRabbit because the YRabbit after you scanning you will send it into the Excel file, and the rabbit in the hash will read this report, and so that it is your source target. And the source target, what kind of table you have. And in here in the CDM, you can choose the CDM version, and then you link between the source target to the CDM. Your CDM way, okay? And in this step, I mean the people, the expert in your database and also the expert in CDM model have sitting together to make sure that which table will map to the table in CDM model, okay? And of course, I mean in detail, you can click to each link here to define the detail inside the table as well. Okay, so after that. After you decide everything, you can save the ETL in the file, and then the rabbit in the head, you can generate automatically generate the Word document to the technical guide to see that. Or they also different format like HTML or Markdown document to give the technical people to see and follow the structure to mapping or pulling the data from the data source to the CDM model. Okay, so the second step is you need the mapping table. So this step is very important because you know in our CDM RDC we have CDM vocabulary, So CDM vocabulary is their own vocabulary inside. So how could we mapping our, for example, Taiwan drug to the CDM vocabulary? So we have to, of course they have the OHDSI to help us to mapping that. But basically, after when you see the OHDSI, just automatically mapping to you guys to the code, the code from in Taiwan to the code in CDM, but you still have to cross-check that. You have to cross-check the one is may not be suitable to mapping to the CDM model. Okay, CDM vocabulary. So you have to cross-check these things. So the OHDSI is the tools. They will try to mapping, automatic mapping using the text similarity of the both coding system. In Taiwan, for example, I take the drug codes. So in Taiwan, basically, we have the national drug code and including ABC code and also the ingredients of the drug name, generic drug name of the drug. And then we will use the drugs the name using the text similarity to map into the CDM vocabulary. Okay, so OHDSI basically they will help us to map it automatically. And after that, we have to cross-check to see that. In here, then we have to wait to show that this mapping is consistent or not. But anyway, the human experts should be sitting and to see this again. For the demo, I will show detail about that. How could we do that later on? Okay, so basically for the overview of the step for OHDSI, you need to get the vocabulary from the Athena. Molly just introduced about that. So in the Athena link, you can download all of the CDM vocabulary by different versions. You can download the version 5.4 or 5.3 up to you. Okay. And the second step is you need to download the OHDSI. And you have to import the vocabulary inside the OHDSI. So this step only doing one time. After this step, you don't need to do again, and you just do that. And then you have your own coding system, such as like you have Taiwan code, or you have also Taiwan Taiwan procedure or Taiwan lab test. You can load in the OHDSI, and then in OHDSI you can choose the domain to map with. So OHDSI automatically give you the hint, give you the code to map with the Taiwan code in here. And after that, you have to sit in and review and update the suggested mapping. Okay, you have to find out the expert, or you are the expert to do that. So let's confirm that. And the end, when you've done this step, you finally find out the mapping already, and you just export the mapping table and you put it in, and the work is done. After all of step this thing, one technical guy will sitting and using your document, the guideline document, ETL document, and then they will pull out all of the data to the CDM structure. So by using ETL implementation, basically different tools you can use. You can use R, if you are familiar with R or Python or SQL command, you can use that. So basically in Taiwan, we use SQL command to convert all of the data to the CDM model, because our data is quite complexity. So a lot of variable, a lot of field, and also the data is a lot of chart. That's why we use this SQL to convert that. So for the experience, when you're doing the conversing, basically you will start with person table, and sometimes also belong with that you also can working in person table, you're working on location, you're working on provider, care side table first, because those table is a standardized table, and the other table you will link to this table to get the ID or the foreigner key from the other table, from this table. So in the beginning, basically we working with the person, and after that we will see the business of the person and also the observation period of the person as well. The detail inside will go down here. So for the visit occurrence, meaning for example like OPD or admission, you will put in the visit occurrence here. And after that, some of the disease related to the visit, you will put in the condition, or the other observation, you will put in observation here, and the drugs related to this, procedure, lab test, and the other related table you will put in later on. So after the technical guide he done that, the OHDSI also provided a tool to us to check the quality if we are pulling the data is right or wrong. Or they will give you the hint that, okay, how many variables you are, the tool is wrong, or you mapping, you have to check again. So basically, for the quality control, the OHDSI we have also using the rabbit in a hat with some test case framework. They automatically generate using RVU. And the other tool is we call Akili. So Akili basically is the tool to do the summary of the characteristic statistic for you guys. For example, you will see like how many patients in your database, what is the age, what distribution of age, gender, and how many visits through year by year, something like that. So in Akili, they will give you the summary of that. Okay, so actually also the tool to check for you the quality of your database. The last tool is the data quality dashboard. It is a very good tool to let us know all of the variables inside your CDM model. How many rows it passed and how many percent did not pass. Okay. So for the detail of the rabbit in a hat, basically, they have the tool, important tool to generate your data to be using R, and you can see they have some unit test inside, and you can see the detail like through the unit test, and you see what is the errors of your data when you convert it. And actually, in here we provide also the link for Akili. And for Akili, you have to install Akili. And when you install Akili, automatically they will read your CDM data, and then they summarize all of the statistics inside your CDM data. And then they will give you, in the end, they will give you how many data you have and how many errors there. And the last one is about the data quality dashboard. And here you can see the example. They will show you like how many rows it passed and how many rows not failed, and totally how many percent you already passed, and you need to check on percent. You need to check again. Okay, detail that. Okay, so sorry because this one we will combine with morning before, that's why we have this part. But I will show you, for the detail, how we work on that. This one. So before that, I would like to ask if you have any questions related to those tools, or you not understand about us. So I will going further, going to show you guys how it's going to work. hands-on how I will show you guys how we work on that. So in the beginning, we have to download the Rabbit and Rabbit in a Hat. So basically, you go to Google and you can search the Rabbit and Rabbit in a Hat, the keywords, and then you can find out this is a link from the OHDSI way. Okay, so first of all, when I try to find that out, it's in here. So in here you have the link, you can click, and then okay. So
Can I interrupt for a moment?
Yeah.
If you have questions when following along, please raise your hand, and the teaching assistants, myself, will come around and help you all. All right? Sorry, Alex.
Anyway, I try to. I cannot get it here. Probably move to another Euro. Anyway, but sorry. This is my slide. So basically, when you click in the link, you will see that. And in this link, you can see the Rabbit and Rabbit in a Hat. So for two of it, the two tools, you can download that, and you click inside. When you download that, you will have the two files. I want to solve that. Why not so? Sorry. Can I do that? Quickly, I told 1 euro. I want 1 euro, please. 1 euro. But I don't know why. But I can close that. It comes up. Anyone? Yes. Okay, got it. You got it. All right, hold that. Okay, so basically when you find out in the GitHub, you will see two tools here. Okay, and when you click in this Rabbit here, you can get the Rabbit this one, and you can download that here. Okay, and also for the Rabbit in a Hat the same way. When you download that, you click to download it. Sorry. Yes, I know. Okay, so now you guys can see that? Okay. So basically, when you download this, they will have in here. Sorry about that. I will show you. Sorry. That's small. It's not small. What you have is one over here. And you have, when you have one bit here, download that, you will have the bit. Now click in the bit. Alright.
Excuse me, but I think the online version is now 10.7.
Yes, the online version is now 10.7. The storage is the same. You can download that, no problem. Yep. Okay. So after you download it, in the zip file, you can see two things here. And I just extract this, and you can see like rabbit and rabbit in a hat. And the first thing you need to run is the white rabbit, and when you click to run by SD version, okay, and then you will get the here, this one. Sorry, because I just I opened it already, so just so you guys do that. But when you download and you click it in, double click and you can run that, and this will like something like that. Okay. And of course, some people because this one they running using Java, and if you have some problem with Java, some assistant may help you, or later on we can help you later on for that, how to run it. Because this software will run in Java. Okay. So in this library here, you can choose, the first one is location. So in the location, you can choose pick up the location you want to work. Then you can create the folder, and then you pick up the location and work it in. And in here, you can choose the second one. You can choose this different kind of database. So we have SQL Server. If you put your vocabulary, because you will download the vocabulary in the antenna. And once you download the vocabulary, you can put it in any kind of server you want here. Whether you have SQL Server, or you have Postgres, you have Oracle or MySQL. All of it is fine. You can put it in, or you can put it in SAS. No problem. Okay. So when you put your vocabulary inside this different kind of server here, you connect. This one is location, meaning you want to connect to the server. So in here, I try to connect with my SQL server because I push my data inside the SQL, so I connect to my SQL. Okay. So in here, meaning your data, your own data, your hospital data, where you put, you have to choose that. Okay. And the next one in here you have to put is the location, the IP address. For example, like because I put in my server, so I have the IP address 10 point this one. Okay. And in here I have my users for my SQL and also the password for that. Okay. And after you write it down here, you also have to write down is what is your database name. What is database name? Because your data, your own data, you will put in one database. Okay, and you have to write it down here. For example, I will write my database name is DB Hospital. Okay, and then I try to test. So they show me that I succeed to connect to my database here. Okay, so this one means you connect with your own data. It's not connect with CDM. This is your own data. Okay, so when you put your own data, you can put in your data in any kind of server. Okay, this one connects to your own data. Remember that. So after you connect and you test, you succeed. And then the second one, you click to scan. And when you click to scan, whether I click add here, they will show me all of the table inside the your database. So for example, here I use my TMU database. Okay. So I just it will show me all of the table inside the TMU database, for example. And I will choose which table I want to work with right now. Okay. So in here, for example, I choose 3 tables. I choose this, the patient characteristic. Okay, and the second one is the OPD visits I want to work in with, and the last one I work with OPD drugs. For example, I try to work with 3 tables first. Okay, and after you choose this one, you click to scan, and it takes some time to run that. Okay, this one I just run yesterday. Now I try to run it again because I already did this, so I should run this again to you guys. Okay, so after that, you run that, they will give you like scan report generated here, and they set in the table you choose in here, in the folder here, this folder. Okay, so I put it in the OHDSI ETL here. Okay, so we go back to the folder I just choose. Okay.
Just quickly cutting in. I know a lot of you guys are following along, right? Trying to follow along, which is amazing. But I want to clarify, he's just demoing this because you can't, unless you have your own data already connected, you can't do this. He's just showing you guys where you can download this and then what will happen when you actually download it and utilize it yourself. Okay? Now the next session, we will let you guys play with things. Okay?
Sorry, the next session you have to play with that. But this one because I just try to show what we did in TMU before. Okay. So after you scan your database and you click the report, everything reported here. So you can see the field of the three tables I have, the field here, okay. And they also have the frequency, something here, the marks, the depth description, the number of rows they have, and also the other table, if I want to see the detail of the other table, okay, the frequency of that. What I have, the variable here, all of the variable I have, okay, the variable I have. The hot, the time, first place, the frequency of that. Okay, so this is the table and the variable of the table inside my database is stored here. Okay. So for the experience of the working with so the experience working with YRabbit here, I just give you guys one more hint here. Because sometimes the old database is very big, very huge. You cannot load all the things with the YRabbit. So basically, you have to choose the row number here. You can choose the row number. How many rows you want to read? So try to read is, minimum. Don't read whole of your database. Because when you read whole of the database, it takes a long time, and sometimes it's crashed. Okay. So the suggestion here is, when you scanning your database, please choose this one to read. Minimum as you can. Okay, because you just need the data structure only.
To give everybody a little bit more background, what WriteRabbit is a data profiling tool. Right? The purpose is, most people, when we go and try to understand our data, we don't understand our data either, right? Well, even if you work in a hospital, you don't understand its structure. Someone may tell you that the gender that people put in is male and female, right? But there are times you don't know in your data, you might get X, Y, Z too. So what this allows people to do is to run a quick scan against your database so you can see what are your unique values are, which fields are empty, which fields are full. So it helps you better analyze your data when we actually have to do the conversion. Because as part of the conversion, we have to understand what field maps to what field, right? So this way you have a database structure as well as some analysis and characterization against your database. That's based on real data and not just somebody saying, oh yeah, that field has X, Y, and Z. Okay?
Okay. So in the slide, I'm also so actually we will share the slide to you guys. Later on, you guys can see the slide. Okay, for that. Okay, so this is an example where I just read my data and so that. Okay, so the next one we will show you about the rabbit in a hat. So once we are scanning your whole database, you have the data structure. Okay, so you will use the rabbit in a hat to read the scan, read the results. Okay, so in the beginning you will just open the rabbit in the hat. Okay, open here. Okay. So the same thing because we will download that. So just double click in the rabbit in the hat, the file, and then automatically running this one for you. This one. When you click in the this is running ahead. In the beginning, they empty. They don't have anything. Okay. So basically, in the first part, you have to choose. You have to choose. Open your scan report. Choose this one. Okay. And you click on this one. And then because I don't have, that's why they asked me I want to replace or not. Okay. So basically, when you read this, they will show you here. It will show the table. We have 3 tables, right? I just scanned 3 tables. That's why I have 3 tables here. Another thing is you can choose the version.
Our Odyssey tools are all linked to each other, right? They take you from step 1 to step 2. So the first one was you guys scan your database and get some analysis. Now the next step is to take what you've analyzed and now create a mapping documentation of how to map that to the OMOP CDM. And that's what he's showing you. That's when he said you have to import your scanning report to bring into here. And what this now does is shows you your source data and then how to map it to the OMOP CDM. So this will then be given to a developer who can actually then code it.
Okay, so in here you also can choose the CDM version. In here you have several versions here. And in here, also because my version is old, so running ahead is old version, that's why I already have 5.3.1. Okay, but right now it's 5.4 already. So basically, I mean, it's similar. It's not much more different for you guys here. So when I choose 5.4, 5.1, it will show you this one. Okay, this one is the blue one, light blue here, is for CDM. Okay, and the orange here is your own data source. Okay. Okay. So when you have 2 sources here, you have to sit together. You are the one who understand your own data source, and you need another guy to understand this one. Okay, and then 2 guys sitting together, you link together, you have to map together. So for example here, the first table I need to map is a person. So in my data source, only person information I need to get is from Java basics. It means the person characteristic. So I will move this one. I'm sorry, then I move it around first. This one you just do like that. Then we have the row for you. You put here, okay? And then the same, I put location. Because in the person characteristic, I have location as well. So I try to put in person and location. So for other like cache side or provider, I have another table, but I will not load this. Yes, that's why I don't have in the source. But in our TMU database, we have our own table to store the provider and also cache side department, something like that. Well, the cache side sometimes is not only department, it's also about the hospital. If you have multiple hospitals, you can store in cache side. And they have also another table to do the hierarchy, meaning the department under the hospital. You can do that as well. Okay. So basically, you have to sit in and then you just map your source code with the CDM one. So for the OPD, meaning the operation visits, we try to map with the visit occurrence, meaning the visits, the visits is storing all of the visits. Okay. And the observation, meaning all kind of observation, including BMI, including your everything observation, like family history, something like that here. And the detail of the
born in Taiwan and not Singapore.
Okay. And for the detail of this vocabulary, Morning already introduced you in the website. You can see that information. What you should put in the vocabulary in the table. Okay. For the observation period, this means this patient they will observe in our database for how long. Okay, so they will show you the start point and the end point of the patient in your database. So the observation is mean like that. Okay, so the condition here is mean you storing your patient disease, patient symptom. You will store everything here. Okay, and the drug is also meaning storing your drugs, using drug. The patient using drug you will store in here. Okay, and the other table, of course, you can map, you can use that. If you have the data, just try to map it like that. Okay. So for the drugs, I try to map it with my OPD map here. Okay. So the first step, we just try to do the table. Okay. So the next step is you have to define inside the table which kind of variable to map with the other variable. Okay. For example, in the person table, and I have to click here, they will show me inside my source of the table of the characteristic equation, I have a lot of variables. And also in the person table, I have the other also important variable here. So we will see the star here. The star here meaning you need to have the data. You cannot leave it blank. Okay, for example, person here, you need to give data. A person ID. So basically, person ID in here, when you click in the variable, they will also give you a description of that. The unique identifier for the 8 person, something like that here. Okay. So in my source, I will try to map the ID number to the person. And also I have to store the person sort value, meaning the ID I store in my old data I will put here. And this person ID here is generates the ID, new ID in the CDM model. Okay? The difference of two lines like that. This one is generate the new ID in the CDM, and this one is with your own source, your own ID in your database right now. Okay. I do understand everyone here we use de-identified ID. We're not using the real ID. But again, when you're mapping the data from here to here, you also do de-identify again. Okay? It's been like that. Basically, we are using this de-identified patient already. We don't know patient ID. Yeah. Okay. So the next one is human. So we need gender. So for gender, in here I have sex. Okay? So when I click here, I know that in my database, sex only have 0 and 1. So 0, 1 mean, 1 is mean of what I know. Other people don't know. This is my own data. Okay. Okay. So and then I try to map with gender code concept here. Okay. So you click the gender code concept here. You will see this is the concept ID in the CDM model. Okay, this is from vocabulary. So basically, I will pick it up, the concept ID. For example, this is for female and this is for male. And I write down here, female and male. I also try to see the unknown. If there's some unknown sex here, I try to write unknown here. Okay. So one more thing you have to consider. In here we have the standards. Okay, we have the standards. The S is standards, standards vocabulary. A standard concept. So basically, we always using the standard one. And of course, you can do other, but we suggest you guys to do the standard one. And then you can link it. Right? Yep. That's what I understand from Mark Time. Okay? Okay. And then for the birth date, I try to link with year. So you can see here the years, we need the year. Sometimes you don't need the month or days, because from the year you can calculate the age already. Okay, so basically for the star here you need that.
Yeah, Alex, yeah, maybe just inject a little bit. Alex is showing something very beautiful here, is that the entire translation of mapping process is very modularized. I know for people who are new to the OHDSI or CDM, it can be quite overwhelming to convert all this table and all this vocabulary in one go. But you can see from the demo, okay, you can just pick one, the easiest table, for example, the person table to start with, right? And what's even more beautiful than that is, even within the person table, if you don't have all the information under OHDSI, you can just map whatever you're comfortable with, right? Like as easy as patient IDs, genders, and birth date to begin with. So everything is modularized. But later on, when you gather more data, then you can enhance this mapping process, adding more and more table, adding more and more field, right? And you build incrementally. So don't panic. Like I say, we've been sort of building on top of the shoulder of many brilliant people, and we'll do our best to help each other.
Okay, so after that, after you've done every job here, everything here, or even you are not complete yet, you still can save the file. You can save the ETL. So one you can save it. Here they have saved this one. Click save. For example, for me, because I have several versions of ETL, why I have that? Because for one by one table, for this time I only working in some table. I save that one by one here. Like version 1, version 2, version 3, and until version, right now my version is version 8 already. So this means I slowly to do one by one. I cannot do everything in one time. Okay, so you can save like that. So after you save this to be ETL, you can, think of for later on you can load it back to work. Okay. And in here we also have the generate. You see the generate one here. So in the generate here you also can do it ETL. In here we have several kind of format. You have the Word file, you have HTML, or you have markdown document. You can save it. You can generate it here. Okay. So when you generate here, for example, like so if I have this. Yeah, I have this, for example. Okay. For example, here I have what I converted. I convert everything in the CDM model to the REC here. So, for example, this is some table I convert. This is maybe my version 1. Okay, so when I convert, I done the generate, I have this one. Okay, so from to see this information and you give it to the technical guys, he can follow this one and you see how we put our data from our source to, for example, here they have the cache size. In the cache size, I will have which table I have. I have to need to working on and which kind of variable I need to working on. So you have the source here, and you have the source field here, the definition here, the cache size, and what is something I need to working on. So when the technical people they see this document, they will easy to work. They don't need to ask again. Okay, but sometimes when you still confused, you still need to ask. But you see it's not the document generated from the libraries. Okay, so yeah. Okay, there I done this. And the last one is I want you to show your. Okay, so the last one I just want to introduce you guys about the OHDSI. So the OHDSI is a mapping tool. Mapping, from the coding system, in your coding system to the CDM vocabulary. You need to map that because basically in CDM model we're using, for disease we're using Snowman, for drug we're using Eisner. For lab, we're using Lois. So basically, you have to mapping that. Okay. So if you already have the exist, like for IC9, IC10, they already have the exist in the vocabulary, in the CDM vocabulary. You can get directly from the vocabulary concept table in the CDM. But for example, for the drug, in here in Taiwan, we are using our own drugs, listener drugs, right? So how could I map? Because the CDM vocabulary we don't have. They don't have the Taiwan code. So how could I use that? So basically you have to sit down and mapping all of the drug codes to the CDM vocabulary. So using OHDSI, you can easily if you automatically map to the CDM vocabulary, the concept ID here. So basically you can, maybe small, but they will have the weight here, mass score here. You can see the mass score. So for the first one, you can see this is our national code, and this is the ABC code, and this is also the mass code here, and they have also the concept ID here, for example. And then you can read all of the information, maybe the information here, and you just confirm that this mapping is right or wrong. Okay? And if you confirm that it's right, you can see it's approved here. Click approve. And if one is click approve, means it's done for this one. Okay. So basically, what I did mapping the drug code in Taiwan is I will using the C code to map all of the ingredient first inside the database. I'm using the C code to write it out first. But this step only read up the other I cannot map by using C code, so I will use this one. Okay, so basically in the experience when I work it's like that. But anyway, if you can in the first time you don't know how to write C code, you should put in load all of the drug code here, and then they automatically map for you. And you just quickly go through that, and you see one by one approve, just click approve. Okay. And in here you can see you can choose the domain. You can filter by domain because I choose can choose by condition, or you choose by device, okay, or you can choose by, I think lab measurement, so here, measurement, so here, or you can, here you have different kind of domain you can choose. If you're working on drug, you choose drug. You choose working on lab test, lab code, noise, you can working with measurement, something here. Okay? Sorry, because just a demo for you guys, because working on that is, you need to take a whole day to sitting and working on this. It's not like I show you here like very quickly. Okay, so I think this is a slide I try to show you guys to make sure the step. Yep. And after that you have this document. And you say the same thing. I also have some markup for you guys that we're working on that. And we try to put it in, and also you see the math score here. What score you need, and you have to make sure that the score is correct, and you can check, and you can fill it out by using the domain, search by domain. You can write in the query here, like you type the name here, and it automatically show you the list, and you can choose that here. Okay? And basically, when you think is correct, and then you click approve. You approve meaning this row is right down for you. And after that, you should export. If you've done everything, you should export the file, and you have the mapping file already. And you can use this file to pull out the data using this mapping table. Okay, so for example here, when I finish my mapping table, I will save it in Excel file, and you see my this is ATC code, the name, and I will map it for the I think we have the drop ID here. Let's see. I think we have the concept ID here. This is the concept ID. Sorry, it's very small, but I have the concept ID here. Meaning this is a table. I try to map the drug I want to the concept CDM vocabulary already. So once you have that, you can pull it out. Using this one, you can pull out the data, and using this mapping table to get that in CDM structure. Okay. So basically, we need to do that. For drug, you ISO, condition, use Nomad. Lab, you Lois. For the other specialty, use CMS. Okay, and to do that, of course, we have no standard to work on that. Depending on you guys, familiar with, you can use SQL, SAS, C, Java, or any kind of tool you want working on. It's up to you guys. But the step is like that. Okay, thank you so much. Do you have any questions? Please. Yes.
So my next question is about the data input, because I know in Taiwan they still have the typing data. So how can you manage with the typing data?
You mean time data?
Typing.
Text field.
You mean the
Like text field. Text field. So yeah, I mean, with text fields, you have to either apply natural processing language, or somebody has to manually translate what some of them mean, right? Like when you do what we call problem codes, right? Your diagnosis codes, sometimes they're all text. Or in your guys' case, probably your EMR databases, they're all text because the doctor types a lot of clinical notes in there, right? So those, you're gonna have to either use an NLP engine to take out all the terms you want and then create records for them, right? Because some can be symptoms, some could be diagnosis, some could be other things in there, right? So that's what you would have to do. What he showed is more for structured fields. So the mapping that he showed is for more structured fields. We also in the CPM have an NLP notes portion of it that uses, I believe, JSON as well. But again, we don't normally cover it in this because that's a lot more complicated to do.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, with these tools, if you're lucky, that it may help you to automatically map about 90% of the concepts. If you're unlucky, probably even 80 and 70%. So for example, for our experience, for diagnostic codes usually are quite standard, it's easy to map. For Singapore, the tricky ones are procedural, right? because procedure, we have our own unique procedure coding as well. That for that portion, I would say almost 100% manual, because it's unique to us. We have to do manual mapping. So it's a case by case, but do prepare that this won't bring you 100% down. There's the last mile that you will need manual verifications and manual mapping.
Yeah, and many of the terminology I know because SNOMED is, I don't know here, but in some of the Asian countries, SNOMED is somewhat new, right? And you've never used it, right? So can you bring up Athena? So what we have in work with some of the countries is actually put the Chinese or the Korean into the synonym, so then people can search for it that way, right? Because it will help a lot more when you can search for your native language and some of that stuff, right? So we've done some of that already. So if you go back to like, get rid of everything. Get rid of all your search, yeah. Gone, all your filters. If you can go to class, vocabulary, and scroll down and pick ICD 10 CN. CN. Top one. 这个，对。So if you click on one of them, just click on any of them. Click concept. You see in the synonym, what happened to that one? It's not. There's typically, in the synonym section, there'll be Chinese. Not CM, N. Yeah. We have CM. We have CN.
一门呢，你要讲一个门。
哦，我不懂讲那个。OK。Stop. 那个对。Now you click on it. 应该有吧？没有的话就抽行。So you see, there's Chinese in it. So we spent a lot of time in the past few years in OHDSI APAC trying to add languages into some of this stuff. And some of the, even the tools like what some of the other professors will show you later, there's actually Chinese translation. So our analysis tool has it in Chinese as well. It also is in Korean. We're trying to work with Japan to add things in Japanese and many other Asian as well as European languages, because we understand that most folks, you can read English really well, but when it comes to the terminology, you're probably more used to it in your own language. So those are some of the stuff we're trying to do to help out with that, which is a perfect segue into our next session,